throwing it back to this side of the bay, the actual bay, faithful to the bay, right, Mike? I'm going to go ahead and start to give my final 49ers 2023 predictions, and Mike will also give, maybe share his thoughts as well. I don't know if you had anybody picked out for the Niners, but
yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and predict. I mean, it's so early to make like a record prediction. Anything can happen over the course of a season. And honestly, maybe the Niners fucking go out on Sunday and like burst up in flames. And maybe we're looking at this team as like, hey, maybe they're going to get Caleb Williams. That's not going to fucking happen. But you know what I'm saying? Like anything.
Is this the first year that they have their first round pick upcoming?
Yeah.
Oh, so the Trey Lance trade is like basically all done now as far as capital spent.
Yeah,
because that's right. Because the Dolphins had already showed like all the players they got through and all that. I will say this as far as the win-loss projections, the only reason I kind of want to do it for both teams right now is just to have something to look back on
to go back to.
Like we know that we're not going to get it right. We might, but like the reason why we expect the number we expect won't be what happens. Like I might say, oh, I think the Raiders clearly should win week 1 and then lose week 2 to the Bills, and it might be the other way around, but the record that I predict might be the same, right? So, anyways, go ahead.
I'm going to go ahead and say my gut is telling me that the Niners are a 13-win team, but we'll see. Like that's just the number that I have today, and as the season goes on, I might stray away from that. So if you're going to hold that against me, I'm sorry that I can't tell the future, but I can tell you that as of today, from what I know, my gut just tells me that number. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I looked at the schedule and I was kind of just like giving a green tally for win, red tally for loss. And I feel like most of the schedule, it almost feels too obvious where it's like, okay, they should win that game. Oh, they should win that game. Yeah, they should win that game. And then there's occasional games where it's like, oh, that might be interesting, right? But I'm not going to give you a loss for all those games, but I'm also not going to give you a win for every single obvious game that should be won.
Yeah, so Mike's got us at about like you've got us at about 5, 4, and how many ties?
7.
7.
Yeah, no. When looking at the schedule, I'm trying to be as realistic as possible. I have you guys at 11-6. But it's between 11 or 12 wins for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just shoehorned in one extra loss just because there's always that one game that like, oh, what the fuck happened?
Mm-hmm.
But then again, there might be a lot more games where it's like, dude, we dominated the Bengals. Man, we dominated the Ravens. Teams like that. And the Cowboys, right? So you got like 13 wins is totally within – it's easily within the realm of possibility and reality. So –
what I'll say is if Brock Purdy plays at the same efficiency that he did last season, there should be no team that can beat the 49ers. But we're going to...
I mean, I would still say the Eagles. I would say the Bills can. The Chiefs can. Or maybe even... Well, actually...
The Eagles will be interesting.
The Eagles for sure will be interesting, and I think if a team would match up better with the Niners, it'd be I think the Bills would match up better than the Chiefs. But anyways, continue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and the Bengals too.
Damn, there's going to be some real tests on this schedule. Yeah, that's going to be crazy. I'm just thinking about Purdy going against the Bills defense. Like that is, I mean, besides the Eagles defense last year, and the Cowboys defense was pretty good. But I feel like the Bills defense is closer to the Eagles than they are the Cowboys, but it's like kind of in another stratosphere, like the level of difficulty of that game will probably be. And for all we know, the Bills can fall apart.
I don't think you guys faced the Bills this year.
Well, I was just why the hell do you have me talking about that?
I just threw them out there because I think they're a team that might match up and be better than you guys. But I don't know.
Well, it won't matter if they don't make it out of the AFC.
You just said if Purdy is as efficient as last year, no team should beat you guys, and I disagree. I think the Eagles still theoretically should, and I think the Bills are that good. Though that's my Super Bowl pick this year is Bills Eagles.
So what you're saying is that the 49ers won't be able to beat the Bills, but you're saying they're not even going to play them. Like, you don't have the Niners even going to the Super Bowl to play one of those teams. I mean, all I'm saying is that any team that faces the Niners, as long as Purdy plays at the same efficiency, they should win. But you're saying, oh, there's teams over here that the Niners wouldn't beat, but it's not like they'll play. We won't find out.
Yeah.
According to you, maybe they'll play in the Super Bowl, but it would have to be the Super Bowl.
I don't want to come off like I'm saying the Bills are definitely better or the Eagles. I just say that they match up well. And as far as like if the Niners are as efficient and healthy as possible, nobody should beat them. Like, well, I can name you two teams that very well could. So I don't know about should, Anyways.
Well, all I'll say is the efficiency last year, it was the number one offense in points per game. Down the stretch.
Yeah.
So if you're number one in points per game, and then the Niners had a top 3 defense last season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you go based off of that, they should win every game. But it's a new team, new depth. Guys regress, guys improve, and other teams build up better rosters, yada, yada, yada. So on paper, the 49ers should go deep in the playoffs. And I'm super excited because we're getting closer to finding out what the Niners are going to be, what the Raiders are going to be. But
do you have any breakout candidates for the
I was
Niners?
Just about to get to there.
Okay.
So one player that jumps to mind, I think Brandon Ayuk. I think it's his turn. The 49ers finally have a quarterback that they feel confident is their guy. I don't think that they've had that. You could argue that they had that in Jimmy Garoppolo. Excuse me. You'd argue that they had that with Jimmy Garoppolo, but their actions would tell you they never had faith in Garoppolo. They didn't pass with him a lot when he was in the playoffs in 2019. And then 2020, he was hurt a lot. And then 21, they mortgaged their entire future to draft their replacement. And then they decided they didn't like the replacement, or they liked the replacement less than they liked Jimmy Garoppolo. And so they treated him as such. So they finally have a guy who, I mean, Garoppolo was a captain. Lance was never a captain. They're fully behind Brock. And Shanahan says Brock is the real deal. And, I mean, we're going to find out this season if he really is. There's such a small sample size. But I think Purdy knows where he wants to go with the ball. And he's able to escape the pocket and extend plays where the other quarterbacks, weren't as skilled in that area. I think Ayuk is going to benefit because he has been tearing up practice, for like the past 2 years. And honestly, since he's been here, I think Ayuk has been very talented and everything. But Ayuk is going to have a contract the following year, or he's going to be eligible for an extension the following season. So I think Ayuk is going to want to get the bag.
Is this his 4th year?
This is his 3rd.
Okay, so
2020, 21, 22. Oh, shit, no, this is his 4th.
Right, and did they grant, or did they...
pick up his 5th-year option?
Yeah.
Hold on. At 2020...
Because I want to say you have to pick it up the year prior. Oh, no, the offseason before, or before the offseason before the final year in the deal. So... if this is his 4th year
4 for Ayuk? Holy shit.
If this is year 4 for Ayuk, then they must have done it this offseason or they didn't do it. And at the end of the season, they have to, come up with a new contract. Either way, he's going to be, going out there trying to earn a new contract. So
part of me thinks that they restructured Kittle and Williams just to sort of budget for Ayuk, to budget for his extension next year.
Maybe a little bit, but doing that move that they did, like you said before, it pushed money back. So if anything, it makes it harder to. I don't know how they did it. So
yeah, I don't know how they did it either, but
Yeah.
maybe there's a guy that they can, move off of, and maybe they want to keep Ayuk. I think it would be in their best interest too, but you can replace receivers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ayuk is just a great one. And, Ayuk's definitely motivated to, if not get a contract with the 49ers, to get his next contract with the next, with his next team. So,
yeah. Do you have any other breakout candidates?
I mean, I would be inclined to say Purdy, but I'm trying to think of who else. I think Debo is going to have a return to form. I don't know if he'll break out per se.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stick with Ayuk as my pick. I really think you sort of know what you're going to get with most of the 49er players by now. So there's not going to be a whole lot of opportunity for other players to break out. Maybe one of the backup running backs will cement themselves as the running back 2 behind McCaffrey, as opposed to Elijah Mitchell. So maybe you could consider that a breakout.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we wanted to pick team MVP, but I will allow you first. Do you have any opinion on the breakout?
Yeah, I was going to say I was considering Tyrion Davis Price is his name.
Ty Davis Price, yeah.
I was considering him, but I have 4. One's an honorable mention, and that honorable mention is Brandon Ayuk, just because I feel like he already has sort of broken out, but I could see him having a much bigger season than he's had before, for sure.
Yeah. If he finally has the stability at quarterback and the consistency, then I think that there are so many weapons. The defense is going to have to spread out, and Ayuk is going to get the love that he needs.
Yeah, I do think the one difficulty for Ayuk is how crowded this offense is as far as playmakers. Your running back catches a lot of passes. Debo gets a lot of scripted passes. George Kittle gets a lot of passes over the middle, right? So
I just think there will be a lot of touchdowns to go around.
Yeah, there should be. But other than Ayuk, I'm kind of going from 3 to 1. And this one is he's a breakout for the Niners, but he's already broken out in the past. Specifically, I think last season, Javon Hargrave, first year on the team. He'll be interesting to see. And I just think as far as him being new to the team, he's sort of being in that way, he's a breakout for this team. My next 2, Cleveland Farrell. I think that if he gets time on this defense and he gets, significant reps, specifically against the run, he will succeed for you guys. And I think under the coaching of the coach's name, I do not have in my head,
Chris Kosarick.
Yeah, I think he's going to improve, and I think if he's called upon, he will answer. And then my top breakout candidate for you guys is Jair Brown, the safety. I think he's going to be your number 3 safety at some point, if not already. And he will show up a lot more than you might expect a rookie when your starters are already cemented, at safety.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he'll make plays. So
I'm going to give one more pick for breakout player, because I feel like I just thought about this right now. I think Drake Jackson has a good opportunity to be a breakout player and, at least take a leap from where he was last season, because I'm pretty sure he'll be playing on the starting defensive line. And that defensive line is one of the best defensive lines in football. So if they're going to be double teaming Bosa or possibly even triple teaming him, Hargrave is a great pass rusher. And then Eric Armstead is a pretty good defensive tackle. I think as long as Drake Jackson can refine his pass rush, his pass rush moves, I think that he is definitely in line to produce more than he did last season. So we'll keep him.
Yeah, he's right in the same breath as Cleveland Farrell for me, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Next up,
team MVP. I'm going to go with Brock Purdy. And I do have an honorable mention, but the reason why I'm choosing Purdy is because I really feel like this team will go as far as Purdy will take them. I don't have a ton of faith in Sam Darnold. I felt pretty like, he made some good throws in the preseason, but like overall, I just kind of felt a little underwhelmed by his performance. And there's like a clear difference between Darnold running the offense and Purdy running the offense. Like when Purdy's running it, the offense is going down the field. When Darnold's running it, it's like one of the like you ever watched like those slow primetime games? Like you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Brock Purdy. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how he does.
No, I completely agree. Is that your only? Or you said there was another one, right?
Yeah, my honorable mention would be McCaffrey because he's going to be the favorite dump off target, and he's gonna pick up a lot of yards.
Yeah. As far as my choices for MVP, I think you have a lot to choose from for sure because my opinion on this team is that it's very top heavy. The obvious choice is Brock Purdy, but because I knew he was going to be talked about and like it's just so obvious, I had to go with somebody else. So Brock Purdy's a honorable mention for me. The other honorable mention for me is Christian McCaffrey. And then I mean like in the same breath, you could bring up Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, right, on defense. But my MVP for the San Francisco 49ers in 2023 is a guy who I think if you lost him, you would be fucked. And that's Trent Williams.
I'm gonna disagree with you. Okay, I fully agree. The Niners, that offensive line is in shambles without Trent Williams. But without Brock Purdy, I think we're even more fucked. And obviously, Purdy might go down without Williams. Like you can make that argument too, but you can get serviceable offensive line play, from a backup. I mean, it's going to be a huge downgrade no matter who you go to, from Trent Williams to anybody.
Yeah,
but if Purdy goes down, I think you can kiss the Super Bowl goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree that, yes. I'm mostly saying this because I knew Purdy was obvious. You know what I mean? But I just think right in the same breath with Purdy, maybe right below Purdy, would be Trent Williams.
Yeah, he's one of them.
That wrecks the passing game and the running game completely.
He would be my other honorable mention. Yeah. But you can always scheme around Trent Williams. I mean, to a certain point, right? Like you don't want Purdy to get fucking obliterated on his blind side.
Yeah.
But you could get around one offensive lineman going down. You can't. There's no way you can get around losing a quarter, like going from Purdy to Darnold. I feel like that's a way. I mean, it's just a big jump at the most important position.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just think, I mean, the same would have been said last year about like, you take Jimmy Garoppolo off the team, you would have said, I mean, the gap between Trey Lance and Brock Purdy, and this is probably a shitty example, but still, at the time, not knowing who Brock Purdy was, we would say like, well, if they lose Trey Lance, they're fucked. And yet Brock Purdy almost took him to the fucking Super Bowl, And honestly, I think Jimmy Garoppolo might have done the same just by, the offense was rolling. I think it did get better with Purdy. And yeah, I'm like, I don't believe in Sam Darnold, but maybe he's more ready to win games than the backup left tackle would be. But that it's a completely different position, and I agree that quarterback is the most important. I'm not trying to say. I'm just saying if they lose Trent Williams, I think they're probably fucked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, here's what I'll say, and then we'll move on. I agree. It's not good if you lose Trent Williams. But Purdy last season was a diamond in the rough. The Niners didn't even know what they had in Purdy. I feel like everybody sort of knows what we have in Sam Darnold. So whereas Purdy was a diamond in the rough as one of the backup quarterbacks, Sam Darnold has proven that he's dog shit in the rough.
Yeah,
so the Niners can say, "Hey, I have this fucking fantastic diamond, but you are holding up a turd and trying to convince everybody that it's not."
Yeah, I mean, I guess my one thought along with that is like the stigma again is that Shanahan, his offense is very QB friendly. But yes, I agree. Like Sam Darnold has not proven to be very good. So, anyways.
Mm-hmm. I think Sam Darnold can go in there and win football games. I just don't think they can win a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold. And I would love for him to prove me wrong, but I would really fucking hate it if Sam Darnold came in there, won a Super Bowl, and all of a sudden we have to pay him.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because he's on a contract year.